I am a fast bowler. I terrorize batsmen. It's my job to keep them scared. I bruise egos, hurt morale, attack bodies, and I destroy stumps. And now I've destroyed my own knees.
I want you to look down at your knees and look at your kneecaps just floating around. What a well designed joint. They're practically begging to feel pain, especially when someone like me puts 7 to 8 times my body weight on my legs and spine with every ball I bowl. And let's just say, I got some body weight. I'm 6'2" and I'm fairly fit, but when you run in over and over and put that much pressure on your legs repeatedly, something's bound to go wrong. And that's why my knees hurt. Now, it's not too bad, and I could play through it, but in the long term, this will become an issue, and I do want to walk when I'm 30. So, what do I do? Do I just become a batsman, get run out third ball, and then go stand at third man doing absolutely nothing the rest of the game? Or even worse, do I give up on my dream of playing cricket at the highest level? No, I will not do that because I actually have an idea. It's a left field one. Well, it's a crazy one according to my captains. I am going to go from being a right arm fast bowler to a left arm off spinner. Now you might ask, where did I get this idea? When I was in ninth grade, I was actually playing baseball and I noticed the first baseman is always a lefty. And I wondered why. It's because of how baseball and throwing works. In baseball, if you're at first base and you're a left-hander and the ball goes towards your left, it's probably a foul ball. And for it to be in play, it actually has to be on your right, towards the glove. And then throwing has 3 steps. Step 1, you pick the ball up. It's a step a lot of people actually forget. Step 2, you turn towards your dominant side to wind up, get power. And then 3, you turn back and face where you're throwing. Now step 2 actually gets eliminated if you use good technique while picking it up, if it's coming directly towards you or towards your dominant side. This is because you don't have to wind up. It's happening automatically. And in baseball, 3 of the bases are actually in your range as a lefty. And I noticed in my own cricket matches that lefties do very well at point, especially when the bowler is fast, because the batsman usually tries to guide the ball there for a single. You just pick the ball straight up and you're already wound up and you just let loose. So I saw this and I realized, what if I had 2 dominant sides and I could throw with both arms? So I started training. And surprisingly enough, within a couple of weeks, the dexterity in my left hand was much better. Let's say you're trying to grab something with the right hand. You can feel every finger. You see the thing. And it's like fielding on cement. You know what's going to happen. But then you try and do it with your left hand. Suddenly you're worried, oh my God, the ground's uneven. Feels like you're just moving from the elbow and your fingers are just there. And what happened after a couple of weeks was I got a similar feeling as I do with my right hand at that much dexterity in my left. And not just that, I could also throw almost as accurately and as fast as my right arm. And what I learned from that is that it's possible to teach your non-dominant hand to do things fairly quickly. And if you look at the world in general, in the past, a lot of lefties were actually forced to become righties, to write and stuff because it was viewed as unlucky. So the point is, why don't I just apply this to something slightly more complex than throwing? Bowling. Now you might ask, why are you trying to force yourself to become a lefty, right? Why don't you just stick to right arm spin? Well, let's look at all the options. So there are 6 kinds of bowling. There's fast bowling, off spin, and leg spin. And then there's right and left handers. So that's 6 kinds. Now, I can't do fast because my knees hurt. So you can just cross this out right now. That leaves off spin and leg spin. Now, let's start with leg spin first. Leg spin has the potential to be great. In fact, it's very hard to play. However, it's just as hard to bowl. Have you seen Adil Rashid bowl? He's made Kohli look like a fool. And then the next game, he's bowled more short balls in 4 overs than I've bowled in like a season. If a professional cannot control properly, how am I going to do it, right? So that leaves off spin, both right and left-handed. Now, here's the thing about right arm off spin. It's very good to control. I think you have most control as a finger spinner, but everyone has faced a lot of off spin. And personally, it's my favorite to bat against. Every time an off spinner comes, I just get ready to just hit with the turn. It just feels intuitive. And even their best balls, they feel more manageable compared to the other types of bowling. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been great off spinners. Ashwin, Muralitharan, right? The point is, the amount of practice I put in there is not going to be worth as much because the batsmen would have practiced against them as much, right? If not more, because off spin is what every office going father bowls after bowling like 2 overs of pace when they get tired, right? So we'll get rid of normal off spin. But what about left arm off spin? Well, for starters, lefties have a little bit of an advantage naturally because there's just fewer of them. And what that means is the angle is slightly different, and batsmen don't get to practice against that. Like, think about it, even Kohli, best batsman in the world, has probably faced way less left arm bowling than right arm bowling, right? And sure, a bad left arm will still get hit. You know, a bad ball's a bad ball, but his good balls are just that much harder to play. So in conclusion, I'm going to be switching to left arm off spin. Now, you will get to see my progress as I basically learn to bowl again. And honestly, I'm curious to see if I'll go faster this time, because last time it took me a while, it took me a few years. So see how this goes. And along with that, I'll give some of my knowledge. You know, I can teach you guys how to bowl fast. They say, teachers, if you can't do, you teach. And that's what I'm going to do. So see you in the next video.